Shane slammed the door behind us. Well, that ended well. Don't you think that that was a great idea, Mai? That ended well. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of Asagao Academy. In the last episode, we had a fun little scene between Hana and the members of Continue, but here we are going to PBG's room because we have to return we have to give him his notes. You see, PBG was not in class today. We don't really know why, but Hana was very concerned about PBG, so she decided to be a good saint. That's kind of redundant, a good saint. She decided to be a saint and bring his notes to him. So here we are in the boys' dormitory. 400, 401, 402. Here it is. I paused in front of his door, my heart in my throat. Why is your that? Okay, like, the writing in this game is fantastic. I just thought that that sentence was a little bit weird, having your heart in your throat. I suddenly felt horribly stupid about bringing this to him. It wasn't like he wouldn't even look at it. He said himself that he hated school. It's okay, I still think that you're doing a very kind thing. I'm sure that PBG would appreciate that. But what if he was dying in there? John went to the drama club. He wouldn't be back for a few hours. Sucking it up, I knocked on the door. Who is it? It's Hana. I brought some notes from... The door swung open before I could finish my sentence. PBG beamed down at me. Hana, hi.
Hey.
Hi. Come in, come in. Thanks. PBG's such a nice dude. I stepped into a messy room. Posters lined the walls and small Harvest Noon plushies were piled up on one of the beds, which I assumed to be PBG's. Did she say that this is a messy room? This is not a messy room. This is a very neat room. I mean, especially the wooden floor. Dang, it looks so polished. And I like this computer setup, by the way. That would be a great area to do LPs, although I don't really see a microphone or anything. Then you got this duck hunt poster here, and then some generic, modern, minimalist kind of poster here. I wish that during my last semester at the university that I transferred to, I wish that I had brought my widescreen TV now that I think about it. Sure, I did bring my widescreen, I guess, computer monitor, my 1080p LED monitor, Asus, but I mean, it's not that big, and I mean, in all honesty, I didn't really have that much time to play video games, so it wouldn't have really mattered. A TV was on in the center of the room. Turby twinkled happily from the pause menu. You were playing games? Huh? Oh yeah. PBG closed the door behind me. I didn't feel like going to class today, so I thought I'd stay in and do some work. No, PBG, young man, just because you don't feel like going to school doesn't mean that you can just skip out like that. I mean, actually, now that I think about it, it's very important to attend classes, but depending on your situation, I think that if you're not feeling up to it, maybe sometimes the best thing to do would to not attend class. But I mean, looking at PBG, he's just here chilling playing video games, so I don't think that he has a good enough excuse to have skipped class. Why am I ranting about PBG and how he skipped class? I'm starting to sound like a mom here, nagging him. Work? Oh, actually, my bad. He was saying that he had work to do, so okay. I'm sorry, guys. I'm really sorry. This has been a terrible start to episode, what is this? Episode 7 of Asagao Academy. What a wonderful start this has been. Well, we do have a tournament coming up, so that kind of counts. I brought you the stuff we went over in class. Oh, thank you. He took the papers out of my hands and set them on a desk next to a small stack of manga. I'm glad you're feeling well. Were you worried that I was sick? Sorry. But that's adorable, so I'm kind of happy about it.
What?
Wow, very blunt, very upfront about it. What? Do you want to hang out? We have to work on our project at some point anyways, right? Well, I didn't really have anything else planned. Great! He plopped into a beanbag and slapped a pillow down next to him. Do you want to play? No, I'm not too good at video games. I think I'll just watch. Okay then. He unpaused the game. Turby sprinted across the room, shooting fireballs from his mouth. By the way, can you guys guess what Turby parallels in our world here, in the real world? Turby, I wonder who that is. PBG and I didn't talk much. Instead, I commented on the game and laughed at him when he died. Before I knew it, the sun was setting and I had to leave. Wow, good job on the project, guys. You guys did so much work on the project today. You're welcome back anytime. Actually, we're having a Stomping Sisters tournament in 2 days. You can come if you want.
Really?
Really? Sure.
See ya.
Awesome. It'll be at noon in this room. I'll see you there. I left the dorm and stepped out into the fading sunlight. The air was warm and filled with the smell of freshly cut grass. I couldn't put my finger on it, but something about being around PBG was comforting. Shaking my head, I went back to the dorms.
Hey.
Hey Mai, how did tryouts? Hana, close your eyes, don't move! Before I could flip on the light switch, something warm collided with me and my eyes recovered. What's going on? Stop squirming, you'll ruin it! Ruin what? Just follow my lead, okay? Mai guided me through the room, telling me where to step. Down? She put her hand on my back and folded me in half. Ouch. Ouch, poor Hana was folded in half. I'm just kidding. Inching me into something that felt like it had a roof. Almost done. What exactly is going on?
Yay!
And ta-da! I gasped. Oh, I was waiting for the text to load. Turns out that I had to press the mouse. But I really like the CG work done in this. For those of you that haven't played visual novels before, visual novels always have these CG illustrations to highlight a particular, or excuse me, a specific moment in a story or a visual novel. And I really like the CG that was done here. But by the way, yeah, look at this. It's a fort. It kind of brings us back to childhood, right? I don't know about you guys, but making bed forts, or what would you call them? I mean, forts in bed is so much fun. Like there's something like a sense of security that you get from these forts, you know? What is this? What does it look like? It's a pillow fort. That's what you call them, a pillow fort. I've been looking forward to this for ages. Tryouts already happened. I made the team easy. I left early because I wanted to set this up for you. For me? Well, for us. You've been such a good friend to me, Hana. I'm so glad we got to be roommates. Which kind of pops the question into my mind, did Hana not have a roommate before this semester? Because Hana is just a transfer student, right? And Mai has been attending this academy for a while now, so I'm kind of wondering now what her past roommate was like. To me, it kind of sounds like her past roommate sucked hardcore, and she's just so happy to have a good friend like Hana. But anyway, that's beside the point. I'm kind of downplaying the friendship here, which is terrible. No, I think that their friendship here is adorable. I wanted to do something for you to make you feel more at home. I've seen how panicked you can be going around school. I don't know what happened in your life, but Asagao is your fresh start, right? You've got me, and you've got this school. And normal boots too. If you're up for it, this can be your new life. You don't ever have to look back. And now is when we can play. Mai.
Yeah!
Yes, I knew it! I totally knew you were going to cry.
Perfection.
I guess this means I was successful. Ah, Mai, you've done it again. Mai. I slammed her into a hug. Whoa, be careful, you don't want to break it. This took me forever. Mai, I was bullied at my old school. That's why I came here. And it was only because my dad gave up everything to afford it. I thought you wouldn't like me, and I have a hard time trusting people. But if you wanted to, I think we could be best friends?
Oh, no.
Oh gosh, now I'm gonna cry.
Yay!
Yes, let's be friends. I'm so happy. Me too. Together, we're unstoppable. I'll say. Let's hook you and Jared up. I love how she kind of just threw that out of nowhere. Just into this very touching moment. Let's get you and Jared together. Wait, I can't even speak to him without self-destructing. It's fine. There's no way he couldn't fall for you. Oh yeah? And no one's caught your eye yet? Huh? I'd say there's more than a few suitors on your horizon. Aren't you gonna give it a shot? Me? Dating? My eyes shifted across the fort Mai made, the stuffed rabbit sitting on my bed, the window with the view of Asagao's manicured lawn. My life changed so much so quickly. You know, maybe I could.
Yeah!
Aw, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Well, I prepared some activities for us to do. Look, she pulled out a tablet and opened an app. We're going to marathon you through Vavatar. Ha, Vavatar. I don't know. Too late. She pressed play. As evening faded into night, we huddled in the blanket fort, watching episode after episode and messing with each other. Aww. Watching Vavatar. Happier than I'd been for a long time, I rested my head on my shoulder. Before I knew it, I'd fallen asleep. As usual, the next day, Mai and I got to school early, still poking fun at each other for our moment the night before. But as we approached Poppy Hall, I noticed something felt different. A palpable tension hung in the air. It was almost humid. Man, what is up with everyone? I don't know. Is there a test today? Oh man, forget that. If there's a test and you guys forgot about it, rip you. Not that I know of. But as we entered the building and turned the corner, it suddenly made sense. Jared and Paul were arguing amidst a large crowd, spit flying from their mouths, while Nick and Josh walked along the hallway pasting posters of Paul's face over Gerard's modeling shots. I thought I told you to stop and take those posters down. No, what is wrong with you? These walls are for everybody's space. We don't have to listen to you. And you should know that this campaign is way more important than your little fashion show. No. But mine were here first. Lay off them. This is between you and me, Jared. Leave them out of it. You've been taking up the wall space with your show. The student elections are much more important. It's our government. The student government doesn't even do anything. Whoa. As current president, I can say with full knowledge and proper authority that the student government does a ton for this school. You don't even know, Jared. You don't even know. They're starting to sound like kids. I mean, in the heat of the moment, I guess that there's a reason for them to be so heated, to be so upset at each other, but that last statement kind of made them sound like kids in all honesty. Mai, what does the student government actually... Mai? She wasn't with me anymore. She'd pried herself between Jared and Paul and was pushing them apart. I ran forward to help her. You guys should stop. Hana! I flinched. Sorry, Hana, I didn't mean to yell. We want your opinion on something. You're a regular student, a new student. You're uninvolved. Which do you think is more important, our student government or the fashion show? Now, personally, I would say that the student government is more important, but the wise thing to do in this situation would be clearly to not take sides. Okay, that's a piece of advice for you guys. But I'm sure that many of you guys know this, but whenever you have friends in instances like this that are arguing over something and they turn to you to ask, hey, who do you think is right? Who would you side with? Make sure that you don't take sides. Let them work things out on their own, regardless of what your honest opinion might be over their argument. So I don't want to choose between you, honestly. They both let out a heavy sigh. Aww. That doesn't help us. It was amazing they even cared what I thought. I mean, true. I mean, just the fact that they asked Hana what she thought, that says a lot about what they think about her. Hana's usually right about these things. You should listen to her. Mai patted me on the back and I jumped. I forgot she was there. Jared looked at Mai, raising an eyebrow. Are you sure, Mai? Don't you have your own opinion? Why'd he bother to ask? Well, if I'm being honest, I care more about the fashion show. I go to the elections because I have to, but I go to the fashion show because I want to. Plus, it raises a lot of money for the school. I do appreciate Mai's honesty in this case. I might not exactly agree with her, but I do appreciate how sincere she's being. Thank you. He gestured dramatically at Mai, as if her opinion sealed the deal. That's because we made it a fundraiser. The 5-minute bell. Class was about to start. Jared nodded to us and walked away, Paul opened his mouth as if to say something more, but evidently thought better of it. He headed after Jared with Nick and Josh, thanking them for their help. Being a year ahead of us, their classes would be on the next floor. Mai began to follow them, but I gently pulled her arm. Our classroom was the other way.
Oh, Jared.
Jared, if you need any help with the show, I'm here. Her yell echoed through the emptying hall. Jared, without looking back, raised a hand in acknowledgement. Mai covered her mouth and emitted a skull-piercing squeal. Wincing, I dragged her into the classroom. After the drama that morning, I wasn't sure what to expect at lunch. I dawdled on my own, making up an excuse about copying notes, hoping whatever tension remained would dissipate while I was gone. When I got to the cafeteria, it seemed my plan succeeded. Hana, we saved a spot for you. Get over here. Mai sat at the normal boots table, looking like she completely belonged. She waved for me to join her. I sat down next to her at the edge of the table. Josh was across from me. We made eye contact as I sat down, so I nodded slightly to him. He nodded back. I felt accepted. Man, slowly, Hana is just really beginning to fit in with the Normal Boots Club, you know, even though she's not a part of the organization, even though she's not part of the Normal Boots Club technically, she's really getting along with these people, but it's mainly because the Normal Boots dudes are such nice people. I mean, they really did help her get along as a transfer student during her first few days of class. It was very nice of them. Hey Hana, how was class?
Hey.
Good, thanks. PPG might have already told you, but we're working together on a project. It's going pretty well. I'm doing the Is that Gerard back there? In a shy moment of not wanting to look Nick in the eye, I glanced to the side and saw Gerard in the back of the cafeteria with someone I didn't know. Everyone turned to look. He's probably doing some trading. Satch waved a hand. So I borrowed a new drawing tablet the other day, hoping I could use it to make plans for my machine. Speaking of drawing tablet, I've got my drawing tablet right in front of me here, like literally. It's in front of me, behind my microphone, but I'm looking at it right now and I've been wanting to use it a lot more lately. So since it's summertime, there's no better time to get back into drawing than now. Satch changed the subject and everyone started talking about that. I, however, kept my concentration on Gerard, who was holding a small figure. Same with the girl he was talking to. Were those what they were trading? Those are itty bitty kitties. They're really popular right now. I'm surprised you don't recognize them. They're kitty figurines of all different shapes and colors. I have a few myself. You know me, I'm hip to know about these things. They're pretty cute, but kind of a little girl thing. She shrugged. Gerard is known as the completionist around here, and every time a new thing gets popular, he completes them. I've never seen his collections, but I heard they're really impressive. You have to be a dedicated person to do something like that. The completionist? Was that why he was so thorough with giving me a tour? IBK is the thing right now, and last year too. I think in first year, there were a lot of people collecting silly slimy snakes, but that got old fast. When I hear silly slimy snakes, for some reason I think of those silly bands. Is that what they call those? Like those rubber bands that you would wrap around your wrists that were shaped like different things. Like I know for sure there were some shaped like cars, some shaped like dinosaurs. That was really weird. Like teenagers, like at the time I was a teenager of course, but teenagers can get into really weird things. Those silly bands were very odd to me. Teachers didn't like everything coated in a thin layer of slime. I still have one in our room. I can show you sometime. Jared tapped Mai on the shoulder, and she whirled around, hitting me in the face with her hair. Yes? I wanted to thank you for this morning. Oh, no, it was nothing, definitely. I mean it. As Jared and Mai spoke, my eyes went back to Gerard's exchange. Oh, okay. So that's good. Now Jared is starting to noticing Mai a little bit more, so now we can be happy for her. The girl pulled a second figure out of her backpack and held both of them up. Gerard inspected it and shook his head. She pulled another one out, sadly this time, and Gerard's face lit up. He held out his figure and they swapped. How bittersweet, letting go of something you love to get something you would potentially love more. What do you think, Hana? My attention was pulled away. I hadn't been listening to the conversation. Huh? Yes or no? Now this is one of the stranger moments in this game. Honestly, I feel like the game could do without this moment because we're thrust into making a decision, but we're not given any context as to what we're making a decision over. Jared and Mai were kind of having a conversation talking about something while we were so focused on Gerard and his trading that we didn't even get to listen to what they were talking about. So honestly, I have no idea what this decision influences in the story. So I think that it would make no difference either way. Let's go with no. Interesting. Mai gave me a skeptical glance, then turned away. I bowed my head in apology and took one last quick look at the intriguing trade happening. The girl left, and Gerard was now talking to a boy with a messy appearance who made exaggerated hand motions. It looked like he just got out of bed. Was this another trade? Alright. So, official announcement in case you haven't heard, we're having a competition tomorrow. Just a little casual something to get us ready for the tournament. Yeah! Finally! We've been planning this one since last year's. My attention snapped back to the conversation happening in front of me. Was this what PBG was talking about yesterday? Hana, Mai, you're invited if you'd like to come. Either way is fine, but let me know so I can plan. How does it work? It's a little thing, some lighthearted fun to start off the new year. Lighthearted fun, my ass. John almost broke Satch's nose last year, and Gerard twisted his ankle. Satch delicately raised a hand to his nose. No. It was an accident. You forgot the part where you almost passed out from blood loss, Shane. I didn't forget. He looked away. I can never forget. Scarred. I don't know about this. I'm not very good at video games. Yeah. Sure you are. Jared, we'll come. All right. Awesome. I'll plan for you to be there. Don't worry, Hana. It's actually fun. You probably won't get hurt. Yeah, these ladies better not get hurt. I mean, sure, the normal boots can get as into their video games as they would like to, but you guys gotta lay your hands off these two girls. I mean, you should never beat a girl is what I'm trying to say. Okay, that sounded kind of weird. I'm sorry. I was not trying to like say anything weird, honest. It's just like, I guess the way I put it was kind of weird. No, but seriously, you shouldn't physically harm a girl. That's not a gentleman way to do things. As much as I was afraid of possibly losing a limb, I really did want to go. I was glad Mai was there to force me into it. Without her, I would be a lonely transfer, probably eating grass by myself at this very moment. Again, another reason why Mai and Hana have such good chemistry as friends. The extrovert and the introvert. I love that. Yeah, sounds fun. Thanks for inviting us. Of course. It would be rude to have you sit with us at lunch and then ban you from our tournament. Plus, it'll be nice to have some new competition. I look forward to winning. Again, with his ego. The rest of lunch passed by comparatively uneventful, or at least, if anything else happened, I didn't notice. I was too busy staring at the food in front of me, joy and horror mixing in my stomach. There was no way I was going to beat even one of these normal boots boys. I would make a fool of myself. But still, I was getting to go. I was getting to go. It was a privilege no one else shared. Paul looked at me with what seemed like concern, and I smiled at him. He grinned and returned to his food. He returned his food. Like after taking a good number of bites, he went back to the lady who served the food and returned it to her. The least I could do was give it a chance, right? Yeah, come on, Hana. Try to loosen up a little, you know? That's what you gotta do if you want to, you know, make friends, if you want to, I guess, be a joy to be around. You gotta loosen up. Just don't care too much about whether or not you mess up in this video game tournament. It will be alright. After a long day, class was finally over, and I was ready to go home. Ready to go home to her home back at Ararisu. And that's where the story ends, ladies and gentlemen. Mishizuka still wasn't over her breakup, and Mai complained loudly that she needed a new man so the homework would stop being so killer. It was something to do, though. Wait, it was something to do, though. What else would I be doing if not homework? Studying, probably. Hana, before we get back to the dorms, there's something in A32 that I want to show you. Come! A32? Wasn't that the normal Boots Club room? We're not allowed in there. There's no meeting today, so no one is going to be there either. That's exactly why we need to go now. Mai grabbed my hand and dragged me through the halls. What are you doing, Mai? Are you going to get us in some trouble? I don't like the sound of this. Mai, I don't know about this. What if someone sees us? If you act natural, no one will care. There's too many people around. No one will be interested in what we're doing. Mai was full of confidence that I wish I shared. I really don't think I'm comfortable with this. Mai stopped at the clubroom door, gently tugging on it.
Yeah!
Sweet! They left it open! She pulled me into the clubroom and shut the door behind us. It's in here. Here was a storage club at the very back of the room, a plain white cabinet. She stopped short of the door, looking expectantly at me. I tugged at the knob, expecting it to be locked like all storage closets were. The knob didn't move, confirming my suspicions. Relief swept through me. Well, darn. Looks like it's locked. I guess whatever you have to show me will have to wait till another day. Or maybe never? Oh, I know it's locked. That's why I have these. She pulled a shiny chain of keys from her pocket, eyes sparkling.
What?
Shizuka's keys? Who gave you those? No one. I'm borrowing them for a bit. No harm done. Yeah, this is clearly not going to end well. Mai, I do appreciate that you are a fun gal, but I feel so uncomfortable. Let's leave. She fiddled with the door handle, going through the key after key. Mai, I'm seriously uncomfortable with this. Someone is bound to find out. They always do. Finally, there was a small click and the lock relented. Don't worry, Hana, I'll protect you. Mai opened the door, and a light shone down directly onto its contents.
Yay!
There they are! There they are! To my utter bewilderment, there sat luminescent golden boots resting on a velvet pillow, encased in a glass box. What are these? What are those? I mean, it's appropriate because they're boots, right? Because they're, things that you put on your feet. So, I mean, what are those? Yeah. I stepped closer to the case, and I was about to put my hand on the glass, but stopped inches before, wrought with guilt. We shouldn't be here. These, Hana, are the boots. The boots. It's the symbol of the Normal Boots Club. This is their club room after all. I'm telling you, these guys don't mess around. Is it made of gold? Real gold? It must have cost a fortune. I'd say they're solid gold, only worth 100,000 yen or so. But to really make sure, Mai's fingers wiggled in front of her face. Before I could stop her, she opened the glass case and lifted the boots from the velvet pillow they rested on. Mai, please be careful. Okay, the way I'm visualizing this is, you guys know that episode of The Fairly Odd Parents where I don't remember the exact context or the exact story of this episode because it's been a while since I last saw it. But it's that one episode where I think Timmy Turner goes to an alternate future where, like, the dad didn't win some prize or something, and there's like a pedestal with a pillow on top of it where the prize would have been. And he was like, this is where my trophy for this one competition would have been if I had one. I don't know. I think that you guys might know what I'm talking about. As a matter of fact, I feel like it's a meme nowadays, but that's kind of what this whole situation is reminding me of. I grabbed the boots from underneath, just in case she dropped them. Good thing too, because they were heavy. The gold was cool and hard to touch. The boots were definitely not wearable and anything but normal. Mai bounced them up and down, weighing them with her hands. Her arms flexed as she did so. I suddenly realized why her pats on the back hurt so much. Volleyball made her strong. She was a ripped gal. Yeah, definitely solid gold. Mimi lied to me. She said they were gold-plated. I didn't believe her, so I had to check. So you dragged me along instead of her. This display of wealth made my stomach turn. Where they saw a symbol, I saw months of food for my father and I. 100,000 yen just lying in a closet protected by a single poorly guarded key. It might not be a big deal to the students with rich parents, the majority of the academy, but it was more than disturbing to me. Yes, you. I wanted you to experience this with me. Silhouetted by the warm glow of the spotlights, Mai smiled at me. That smile almost made me feel okay, but okay being here without permission. Almost. Plus, when we get caught, we'll be okay. There's no way they can punish you. They really like you. What? The storeroom lights flickered on. We both turned abruptly, still holding the boots. Oh man, rip Mai and Hana. Rip Mai and Hana's chance of ever getting into the normal Boots Club. Why did you have to do it? Why did you ladies have to be so careless, so reckless? Young lives. These young, careless, and reckless young women. Shane stood in the doorway. Maybe not that one. You, what are you doing here? That case is supposed to be locked. Well, it was locked. Mai!
Shane.
We're really sorry, Shane. We heard the boots were kept in here and we were curious, that's all. No harm done, right? Here, Mai, let's give the boots back to him. Yeah, I was just showing her. We aren't suspicious. You guys hide it away. How is anyone ever supposed to see it? She handed the boots to Shane, who placed them carefully back into the case, adjusting the pillow to the center.
No.
We hide it from people who aren't in the club, like you. The case clicked shut. Shane, I'm sorry. Do not come back here. Get out of my sight. But I am containing my anger now, but your continued presence is making it ever more difficult. I gulped. Mai and I dashed out of the door. Shane slammed the door behind us. Well, that ended well. Don't you think that was a great idea, Mai? That ended well. Do you think he's gonna tell the rest of them? I really hope not. I might have ruined my reputation with them.
Sorry.
I think you mean I might have ruined your reputation with them. She threw her head back and laughed, not quite grasping the consequences of her actions. You'll be fine. I'll even be fine. They're students just like us. It's not like we stole it. But Shane, he was really angry. That's just an act. Don't worry about it, Hana. I said I would protect you, right? Her words seemed genuine enough, but I had a hard time believing her. It was almost as if she planned for us to get caught. Uh-oh. Everything that I was saying about Hana being a true friend, at this point in the story, are we still going to ask questions about Hana's true intent? I still want to say that not Hana's true intent. Mai's true intent. I knew this day would come when I would mix up their names. I don't know what it is. It's just, I feel like it's so easy for me to mix their names or switch their names. You know, I feel like I've been doing that without realizing it this whole time throughout this series. I really hope not. And if you guys have been catching me, you guys have probably been shaking your head like, ShdwjGaming, that's not Hana, that's Mai. Good, now let's head back to the dorms. That competition is tomorrow and I do not plan on losing due to lack of sleep. The tournament, I completely forgot. Would they even let us participate considering what we just did? Mai hummed happily as she skipped down the hall, somehow impervious to my anxieties. Heart heavy, I followed her. There really are just some people in the world who are like that, who simply do not have a care in the world. I don't know whether to envy them or to be truly concerned for their well-being, because I am not one of those types of people. For those of you that actually know me in person, and I doubt that any of you who actually know me are watching this in all honesty, but for those of you that do know me, you know me to be a worrywart to the point where I feel personally that it begins to affect things in my life. It begins to have a negative impact in my life and the things in my life, unfortunately, and it's something that I have to work on. What am I saying? It's okay. On with the story. Or you know what? Actually, I think that now would be a good time to end the episode. We are going over by a few minutes. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in and for watching these episodes of Asagao Academy. I really do love this game. Like, I know that it's definitely something that's different than anything that we've ever done on this channel, but I am really enjoying this. I love Asagao Academy. I love Hana. I love Mai. I love the normal Boots characters. It's just so much fun going through the story again with you guys. If you enjoyed the episode, by the way, please don't forget to leave a like, as it really does help the channel. And if you would like to see more from me here on ShdwjGaming, don't be shy and go ahead and hit that big red subscribe button to see more from me. Alright guys, I will see you in the next episode of Asagao Academy. But until then, you guys take care.